Hello, wild ones. Welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez, Oracle and intuitive, as well as an energy sensitive. I'm here this week with my Moon Day message for the collective for the week of June 7th, 2021. I'm just going to give this a moment because I am about 20 minutes or so late today. Begs the question, like, are we really late? No, but I want to make sure that anybody out there watching can actually see me okay, hear me okay, make sure this actually is going live. So Facebook must have put out another update, and even after my update, it wouldn't work. So I had to download the Facebook Pages Manager and try to get it to work that way, which success. I see Jillian's comment. Welcome, lovely. It looks like it did. So it wouldn't be Mercury retrograde if there wasn't something going on with technology, right? So I'm still just going to give it a minute. I think I might just take a few seconds, let others see that I am finally live, and go ahead and try to share this really quickly. Awesome. Thanks, Jillian. So appreciate that. And just to err on the side of caution, I'm gonna unplug, get in, see if that works. Hi, Laura, Shelly, welcome, loves. How are you all on this magical moon day? Hi, Vicky, welcome, gorgeous. Thanks for being here. Let me just share really quickly since I am so behind. Hi, Allison. Welcome, lovely. How are you all? Okay, that's sufficient. See if I miss anybody. Hey, Sherry. Welcome, beautiful. Thanks for being here. All right. Yeah, so Mercury making its appearance, as usual. But there's actually a really interesting message that's coming forward today. I have been receiving it since I woke up. So this just really further aligns and confirms that message, which is really going to be that old nugget of divine timing and really just kind of completely surrendering and letting go of all of what we know and allowing for things to happen as they need to. So really letting go of time, if you will. Let's see what I missed there. Everyone, keeps going up and I keep missing it. Such a beautiful warm day we are having. Yeah, it's interesting because the weather today is much like my mood and what I'm feeling. It's raining and then it's sunny. It's raining and then it's sunny. So I'm going to talk about that on the energy forecast. Jillian says, your top reminds me of my rubellite skull, which is interesting. Grounding the ruby, right? Ah, very interesting. Yes, it's like a dark, it's hard to tell, but dark blue, indigo, and kind of like a softer pinky purple. Pinky. That's pretty awesome observation. Hi, Lauren. Welcome, lovely. How are you today? All right, I'm just, again, kind of giving it a few moments and going to get into it. I know I was not here last week, and obviously we had a holiday here last Monday, and then, it wasn't happening. So it's been quite a bit since the last time I saw all of you and connected, I rather should say, with all of you. Some interesting stuff to talk about this week for sure. Before I really go into anything else, just for anybody catching this live, or even if you're watching this on the replay that might be new to my page, welcome. And those of you who are, with me here as constant supporters every week, welcome back. Thank you all for being here. So every Monday or in divine timing, as long as I'm able to, I like to go live to just bring forward a message of higher guidance and insight into the energy of the week for the collective. So these are not individual personal readings that I'm doing here today. This is one really overall reading for us all as one. And what we really need to know, giving us that heads up or awareness into the theme or the current of the energy for the week, and how we can best really move ourselves in divine flow with that, which is really the topic today, is divine flow. So that's why I do these readings. It's just that awareness. Awareness is power. And it does really help us, again, to not resist, helps us to have a better understanding and awareness, and that ability to, again, move harmoniously with the natural order. Besides just the regular oracle reading that I do here, I like to first talk about news and announcements that I have going on, any offers, events, classes, or whatnot that I have going on here at Magical Me, as well as at my sister business, Oracles of the Light. I talk about that. Then I do something called my energy empathy forecast. And that's an opportunity for me to really just talk about, as an energy sensitive, I do feel into the collective energies. I do feel into the weather. I feel into the cosmos. When everything starts, when there's something intense going on, I tend to feel it and pick up on it. And me just explaining what I might be experiencing tends to help others understand what they're experiencing and how they maybe can really see it from a different perspective and work with that versus against it. And then I talk about any astrological occurrences that are going on that have kind of like plopped into my lap or actually occurring this week that might be really of notable importance for us to know about and talk about. So then I go into the Moon Day message, pulling an oracle card using one of my many oracle card decks and my own intuitive abilities to interpret that message for us all. And then after that, I pull a mudra for all of us to work with together. I'll talk more about what mudras are when we get to that part. Okay. Bridget, welcome, gorgeous one. Lara, welcome, gorgeous. So happy to have you here, both of you. See if I missed anybody. Dawn, welcome, beautiful. You did, see, right on time, because I am technically an hour late today. So, yeah. All right, I don't know if I missed anything else. Okay, so first and foremost, just going to kind of really fast move through these news and announcements. So, again, these readings too, I should just say, they resonate in divine alignment once again, in synchronicity, because I set the intention that all those that are meant to hear these messages find themselves here, and know that you are always here in divine alignment and exact timing of when you are meant to hear that message. So it doesn't matter if you're watching these messages back on replay and you find that you just come across this like months from when it actually occurred. There's still something there for you to hear in that message that's going to resonate with you at that time, uniquely in your own journey. Okay. So, where are we? Think about it. Okay. Yes, news and announcements. So, over at Oracles of the Light, my sister business with my partners Karen and Lindsay, we have 2 reading specials going on here for the month of June only. They are a fairy wisdom reading where we connect with the energy of the Fae to bring forward some messages and clarity regarding maybe your connection with them, how you can honor the alliance with them, and really what they most want you to know. So that is one of the readings. The other reading, because we are moving into the energy of the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, moving into the winter solstice. And it's okay, though, whether you are north or south, it really doesn't matter. You can still experience the reading because it is what we call our solar blessing reading. So it's really a message of what is being illuminated in your life at this time, how you can receive some solar blessings, calling in and connecting with even the solar angels and beings. So both of those readings are currently going on $40 each. They are pre-recorded 30-minute readings using oracle cards as well as intuitive abilities. So we do kind of open up space, connect in with the Fae beings, if you will, and kind of go back and forth between cards and connecting. So more information is available on Oracles of the Light page for those readings. If you're interested, just go on over and check that out, and then you can even contact us for more details. With that said, our newsletter went out, I want to say it went out last week. And so I think it might have been like the first or the second of the month. And if you are already subscribed to our newsletter, you're going to want to check that out because we do have something going on that I am not going to talk about here because it is only available to those who are, participate with subscribing to the newsletter as well as read the newsletter. So that is already available. If you already subscribe, you might want to check your inbox, your spam folder, or even your other folder, promotions and, or even social media, because depending on what mail provider you use, they kind of like put them in different categories. So you might want to check that out. If you have not already subscribed, but you want to participate, it is not too late. We have this going on for 2 weeks. You can go over to our website, www.oraclesofthelight.com, and a pop-up should come up that kind of prompts you to subscribe to the newsletter. If you go on to Oracles of the Light page and you kind of scroll through a couple of the posts, you should also be able to find the link where we talk about having launched the newsletter for the month, and there should be a subscribe option there as well. Okay? If you can't find it, just send us a message and we will help you. Okay. Hello, beautiful Alexandra. Welcome. Oh, miss you as well. It's good to have you here. Alex Morris, welcome. Thanks for being here. Vicky says, I love my fave reading. Yay. I'm so happy that you did love it and that you, received exactly what you needed to hear. Lucy, welcome, my gorgeous soul sister. Thanks for being here. All right. So anything else going on for the month of June? The only other thing that we have going on is, I talked about this before, for those of you who are already Yusoi or Karuna Reiki Masters, we do have a special teacher, guest teacher coming in to Oracles of the Light space the weekend of June 25th through the 27th to teach Egyptian Sekhem Saikem Reiki. Again, this is only available to those who are already Reiki Masters, as it is it builds on top of the Yusoi Reiki system. So if you are interested, we do only have one space available. So just reach out and contact me. The event is actually posted here on Magical Me as well as Oracles of the Light. If interested, just send us a message and we will get you all the other details that you need to sign up. The cutoff date for registration is June 15th. Okay. I think that might be it for now. So we're going to go into the energy and empathy forecast, and it's been interesting. So this morning, I woke up with this feeling of, kind of like hopelessness, I want to say is the word. Hopelessness, which is so weird because yesterday I was on top of the world. It was just magical. I felt really good. I was having a great day. Last couple of days, I'd actually say I felt really fantastic and just, inspired. But then this morning, it was like completely different energy. I woke up and it was just this heaviness in my heart and this feeling of hopelessness. And the weather is kind of like mimicking it here because, like I said earlier, we're having bouts of thunderstorms and then it stops and then the sun is just completely out and shining and it is ridiculously hot and humid out. And then again, we've got more bouts of rain and it's like every couple of minutes it's going on and off. So with that said, I felt this hopelessness, and then I'd have these waves of just back to that inspiration again and feeling magical and alive and just excited for what wants to come in. And then I would have these feelings of hopelessness again. So it's kind of like this roller coaster of up and down, up and down. So when that happens, I know that it's not really or solely mine that I'm experiencing, that I'm tapping into the energy of the collective. And that many of us can actually be having this hopelessness feeling going on right now, especially because of current circumstances in the world. For me specifically, it kind of hit me regarding travel. Most of you already know this. Every summer I do travel over to the UK and do a spiritual tour. And I'm not really sure that that's going to be happening at all this year. So once again, that feeling I can definitely... I can relate to the hopelessness part of that, absolutely. But there's a deeper message in that. but many of us also might be feeling these same things with, travel being restricted, plans being restricted. Certain states in the United States here are actually opening up. So it's been incredible that they're opening up and letting go of all of the restrictions, which is just fantastic. Here in my state in New Jersey, we have done so, and it's just incredibly liberating. The word liberation actually was in my own cards for the day, so that is fantastic. But there's a deeper underlying thing here that's going on as well, especially pertaining to liberation. And I will tell you that from my own personal experience, the control of the needing to know or waiting on what is going to happen and how it's going to play out has been incredibly imprisoning, enslaving, and heavy. That has been really heavy. And so even though it's definitely sad, that I might not be doing what I planned to be doing, there's a liberation that comes with that really makes me feel like I can just let go. I don't have to carry that, I can just be in the moment. And that was one of the messages that I was actually receiving, was to surrender control and really be in the flow. And that, it's almost like being presented with, like you talk about the whole, like the cup being, your cup overflowing and being full. And it's almost like that, having seen that cup spill, and it's like crying over spilled milk type of thing, and you're like, oh, I spilled my milk. But if you just pick up that empty cup, you recognize that you have something even greater than that milk or what was in the cup, which is pure potential. There is now just a completely open space for what wants to enter, for what I can fill my cup with now, right? So there's this whole energy of or underlying message that wants to come through right now, no matter where you are or who you are or what you've got going on, that the old must be released. There's a point of, there's a divine ecstasy that comes in surrender, like the process of, like the metaphoric death, where it's just completely letting go of that physical attachment and the expectations that are just so constricting, to really allow your soul that liberation and freedom to soar to new heights that you maybe couldn't even fathom. It's like when we come to that place of complete surrender and releasing of what we had planned or what we expected, can we truly, really be open to what it is that the divine has in store for us? When we fully allow our will to align with divine will, is when we seriously open ourselves up to magic and transcendence. So that's part of what is going on. It's interesting because with Moon Day, I've been doing it at 4 p.m. here now. Got about 3:30, and I knew there was no way I was going to make it here at 4 today. So I pushed it to 4:30. I get myself ready to go, sit down at 4:30, and what happens? But Mercury retrograde and technical issues here where I just couldn't go live. There was an issue, I had to update, I had to restart, download another app. And lo and behold, it was almost 5 o'clock before I went live. So once again, there's that message from Spirit reiterating, it isn't about your timing. It's about divine timing and allowing things to flow exactly how they need to, because there are so many more facets to our circumstances and situations that we can't begin to perceive beyond this, reality or this tunnel vision that we have here. So, part of that was just that complete letting things happen when they happen. Now, funny enough, I also had a bit of an energy headache today, and it was all on my left side, which is about being open to, your left side of your body is the receptive side, at least in my experience. And so it's like something wants to come in, right? So I'm getting this headache. And so when we feel the pain, it can be from the intensity, one, of the energy, but it could also be from the blocking, the resisting, the struggling, right? So in my head, and my whole head today felt even like a little foggy, not fully focused, not fully grounded, like I was kind of floaty. And so that is really the whole energy of like our mind and the intelligence that's actually being impacted, which makes a whole lot of sense being that we are in the season of Gemini. There's a lot going on with Gemini this week we're going to talk about. So you can definitely see how what you think you know, it needs to be expanded on. We need to surrender what we think we know. Let go of the old way of doing or thinking or even the old plan, and open yourself up to the divine wisdom and the divine plan that wants to take, seed, that wants to begin to anchor here. So I can definitely explain, kind of understand that with what was going on with the headache pain in the side. It wasn't just really just my head. It was like the whole side of my face, my temple, even my jaw felt really tight. So really definitely that whole message of let go of resistance, let go of the old. If something just isn't working, it just isn't working. Us trying to hold on real tightly to wanting it to happen exactly how we want something to happen is really getting in our own way, not allowing ourselves to experience the greatness or the untold story of what has yet to occur for you. So just really giving yourself that room to breathe, to allow your mind to be expanded, to see things from a different perspective. And even if you don't see the picture yet or this week, it's okay. Just open to receive and allow. Okay. So with that said, there are some astrological influences going on that are really kind of supporting all of this. So I will get to comments as well as soon as I get done with this part. So just hold tight and I'll be right with you with that. First, I should say first and foremost, we're also moving into dark moon. So right before a new moon occurs, a day or so before, we experience what is called a dark of the moon. And this is when the moon does experience that completely waning. We've moved down from lessening and decreasing in energy from the full moon that we experience in that solar or lunar eclipse. And we are now decreasing in energy, coming into that place of, dealing with the shadow, working through anything that has been, foggy or coming up as heavy, as shadowy. So really kind of playing into what I just explained and what I've been experiencing. But also that dark moon is a time for reflection, to refocus. And we're already in retrograde, which kind of it's the same scenario, where it's allowing us to refocus, realign, reorganize, and to, kind of let go of the way that we were doing things and really look towards the new beginnings. So it's a very time where it's like a momentary pause, that momentary shadow, and death of the old. So when the new moon happens, that's the new beginning. That's when we are born all over again. The moon is reborn and we begin to grow and increase in energy once again. It's the time for the planting of the new seeds and what it is that you wish to nurture and grow and expand on. So, however, this is not an ordinary new moon by any circumstance whatsoever. This is a new moon solar eclipse, and it is going to be quite a powerful one. It's actually in the sign of Gemini, which is interesting because now you've got both the sun and the moon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm that, but I thought that I read that before. When once again, we've got both the sun in Gemini and then the moon in Gemini. So the sun, to me, sun and the moon are lovers, and they are the feminine and the masculine, the yin to the yang. So when you have them both come into alignment here, we're talking divine union, divine balancing once again. So this complete harmonious alignment trying to occur. See if I can look. Yep. So the moon and the sun are going to both be in the sign of Gemini. Now, it's a solar eclipse, and you heard me talk before about eclipses. This is the second of three. So this one is going to be like a gateway, literally, that's opening to fuel our ideas. Now, the sign of Gemini ruling the intellect and the mind as well as communication, and it does, Mercury is its ruling planet. So this energy is really impacting us in our way of thinking, bringing us the opportunity to kind of reflect, to reorganize our thoughts, to begin to actually really put our attention and our focus into new ways and thoughts and ideas on how we can birth what we wish to bring into the physical here, especially pertaining to your dreams. Now, what's interesting about this is not only is this that powerful aspect that we've got going on there with the eclipse, but also it highlights the current north node. So the north and the south nodes, we all have north and south nodes in our chart, but also, again, where the planets move through just the regular transit, also they have their own, where those current transits are at, what planets are currently in those. So the north node is currently in Gemini, so it's highlighting the north node. Now, it doesn't matter what your north node is, this is for the collective. So we're all going to be impacted by it. The north node in general rules over our destiny, our dharma, and what we're destined to have in life. So now when you've got a solar eclipse, a new moon, solar eclipse in the sign of Gemini, which is thinking, dreams, communicating, and kind of like, that expressing of self here, you have basically this energy fully supporting and shining light upon what it is that wants to be created, what you're destined to create, achieve, or have here. So this is really starting to bring the energy into our the ability to create the foundations for us. So this is really encouraging us to actually take action towards what we want, and what is also at the same time like in alignment with our soul's path, our soul's purpose. Okay. With that said, this week, or I should say actually, the solar eclipse is really laying the groundwork for all of that to be able to be created. So talk about master manifesting here. All right. With that said, we've got Venus in Cancer, and that is actually coming into a sextile with the planet Uranus. So Uranus being what we call the mover and the shaker, the awakener. It really supports individuality and independence. So really kind of that free thinking and kind of stepping out of the norm, and the rigid or even the known, to really be pioneering, So you've got with Venus being more so about like our nurturance, that self-love, and relationships as well as finance. And then you've got Cancer, which is deeply sensitive, intuitive, and has that, I should say the ruler of Cancer is the moon. So you've got that energy of that natural instinct coming in. You combine all of these together with this divine sextile. Sextiles create gateways for healing to happen when the planets move together like that. So this actually highlights partnerships and relationships, people coming in, and I'm not talking about solely romantic partnerships. This more so highlights the connections or divine connections coming in that actually are in alignment with your plans, with your ideas, people that can actually help support these ideas in coming to life, that actually have a very similar plan to you. So you can see this divine harmonious patterning starting to actually, or puzzle starting to actually start to take shape into a picture where all the right pieces are falling into place to get these things built. So those contacts you need, that networking, those collaborative ideas and inspirations all falling into place. Those opportunities that you need to be seen, to be heard, or to be in the right place at the right time. This sextile is actually bringing that all together for us. So this is actually going to be quite a beautiful week, considering how the energy is starting off. But again, in order for you to be able to even fill your cup with all this magical goodness that wants to happen, you got to let go and pour out the old, right? So we've got to let go of the old plans. As difficult, as challenging as that might be for you, think about what has yet to come. You know, you can take a look at that cup and you can see that cup as empty, or you could see it as full of the potential yet to be created. Okay. So, absolutely, people who share your visions, pay attention because they're starting to come in. It also could work out to be that these are divine romantic partnerships. So those of you who are, in a, that exact alignment, again, I don't like to put a lot of focus on people wanting things beyond or outside of themselves in any situation, not just romantic. But this could also be that as well. All right. So big energy this week. All right. So again, and all eclipses have that potential to be life-changing major events that unfold. And that is exactly what that energy brings in. Shifts that we did not see coming as quickly as they're coming, in a good way. All right. Well, it should be in a good way. Again, it depends on how you're looking at the cup, half empty or half full. All right. So yeah, really great stuff. And I always view eclipses as like the major arcana of tarot. They bring in these major life events and focuses. Okay. Rose Maria, welcome, gorgeous. It feels like fun changes I'm opening up to. Good for you. That's amazing. And may it continue to unfold for you that way. Honestly, that's how I felt yesterday and the day before. Like I can see the potential of the amazing things that want to happen and that want to come in, or that I can feel happening in me, within me. And that's another thing that I really want to highlight, is that you heard me say I don't like to bring I don't like to put a lot of energy into people, encouraging people to focus outside of themselves for what they need, while there are components that really can help us beyond what we can just do for ourselves. It's about where you already got yourself. Do you see? It's about what's already within you that's putting you into that alignment to be in that receptive state for what wants to connect and come together. So again, you heard me talk about the moon and the sun moving into the same zodiac, both being in Gemini. Gemini is the sign of the twins. Gonna put that out there. It's about the balance, the divine alignment coming in of divine equals. And that is most importantly, the divine partnership within yourself, of your own masculine and feminine, your innate divine union, which is the ecstatical release into sovereignty and wholeness. And when you come into that place, my friend, well, magic happens. Okay. All right. So with that said, going to move into our Moon Day message. Yes, very exciting. I'm so excited. Rosemaria says, I'm wearing red eyeliner today. Ooh, girl, red eyeliner. Look at you. Foxy. And it's funny because yesterday I changed my avatar and has pink hair and a nose stud. Wow. Look at you go. Go ahead with those vibes. All right. Just make sure I didn't mix anything. Dawn says, last week I was feeling really uneasy, and I also had a weird feeling in my eye socket area. Ooh, not on the same day, so I'm not sure what it was, but also very dizzy. Interesting, because today in my left eye, the same side of the headache and kind of pressure that I was feeling and pain coming in my left eye, and it's actually still there. I think I have, it feels like an eyelash or something stuck up in the top of that socket there in the left corner. I don't know that that's what it is, but that's exactly what, you know what it feels like when you get like an eyelash or something there and it's really scratchy feeling. That's what I'm currently having go on all day today. And try as I might, I can't see anything and I'm not getting it out. So it's really interesting that you just said that. The eye socket, in itself being like, connecting into our third eye, which I know I read something today about the third eye being highlighted. I can't remember exactly what it was because everything starts to blur after a while, all the stuff I come up with. But, definitely makes me, it does, the kind of the crown, which is really being highlighted lately. The crown and the crown chakra and your personal sovereignty, it playing into that. You heard me talking about with, the headache and stuff, and it really does all go into vision, perspective, intelligent mindset, consciousness. So, kind of being refocused and having you get the stuff out of your eye that might be blocking the vision type of thing. You play it that way. Hey Beth, welcome gorgeous. You just popped in. We're about to do the actual oracle part of today. But you can catch back the energy forecast and all that on replay, love. But I'm so happy that you made it. So I've really strongly been working and connecting with the energy of dragons always. And Fae, the Fae beings. As you see, we've got a fairy wisdom reading going on right now. So I have decided to work this week with the Oracle of the Dragon Fae by Lucy Cavendish. And since we are connecting, everybody, and we are we want to come into sacred space together, all right? So I'm just going to have you all just take a quick moment to just kind of let go of any stress, any tension, any worries, anything overly weighing you down, and just kind of take a nice deep breath in. And release. Really just feeling all tension melt away and dropping your mind down into your heart space, into your divine feeling center. All right, so now we're just going to ask for a divine message to come forward for the world as a collective's highest and greatest good for the week of June 7th, 2021. Woohoo! Dropped right out. And I knew this card was coming out. I saw it in my mind before I even decided to work with the deck. So that's interesting. So much symbolism here. So it's a 28. Hello, Tammy. Welcome, lovely. Just pulled the card. The energy forecast and announcements will all be available on replay. The energy forecast is potent, pretty important this week, so you might want to get that back then, okay? All right, so the card's a 28. That breaks down to be a 10 or a 1. And the reason I like to acknowledge a 10, even though in numerology you really don't, you would break that down to be a 1. But because I honor and understand the path of tarot, 10 is significant in the sense that it is the culmination of arrival. It's the end of the journey, or at least one journey before the next. And the attainment of what the journey has brought to you. It's like we focus so much on the destination. We focus so much on what we have to look forward to and being happy, but we miss our nose in front of our face, or the trees for the forest. So it's so important with with the number 10, it brings up this, like having gone through the destiny, having gone through the journey, having really fully been present with that information and what the journey has taught you, only then can you come to arrival. Only then have you truly arrived. So that is a really important message with the number 10, is you kind of see how that plays into the energy forecast. I'll talk more about it in a second. But then we have it shifted, breaking down to be a number 1. It is rebirth. the new beginnings and the forward movement, you know. So it's about positive change as well. One also plays into the energy of manifestation and creating something in the physical, whereas zero technically is the rebirthing energy, that resurrection energy, reset. One is the actual stepping onto the new path. So you can see it that way this week, where there's that opening where we really start to see movement of stepping onto the new beginnings, that new path for ourselves, okay? And as a collective, because yes, we have our own individual journeys going on, and that's important, right? Anubis agrees. But we are also part of a whole, you know? And so what is going on for us together as one? Be interesting to see. So the card itself is Dristan, and it says, look beneath the surface. There's definitely an energy of mystery about this card. The first thing that I notice about this card is the mask that the Fae seemingly is wearing, and the shadow-like wings. And it's interesting because it's like the wings kind of reveal a bit of the true identity of what this being is, whereas it kind of presents as more of like a humanoid or even like a Fae-like being. It most certainly is not. It is more than that. It's kind of hiding behind its mask. So it's interesting that the wings and the mask are dark and shadowy looking. So looking beneath the surface is bringing our awareness to what is coming up within us. Any shadowy like nature, once again, which goes right into alignment with the dark moon that we're currently going to be experiencing, probably already there, as the new moon is actually Thursday, Friday this week, depending on where you are. So dark moon is always day or two before. So we're really already in that window, but we're also in a window of that solar eclipse energy at the same time. So it's even more important, more potent, I should say. The shadows are where the magic is. And the shadow gets so much, like, you know, negative energy attached to it because of the fact that we're kind of conditioned away from anything that's dark, because dark equals evil or dark equals scary. But dark can be beautiful too, you know. And if you think about even the shadow within the void, the shadow within the womb space, it's the place of potential, right? The emptiness of the vessel also is the point of full potential. So these wings, these shadowy wings, are asking us to look at your true aspects, your true nature, because these are starting to come through and shine through, almost as if they are actually being, like, it's hard to hide them anymore, you know. And it might not be something that you're consciously hiding, but and I'm sorry, I know there's like really loud outside my window lawnmower, so I do apologize if you can hear that in the background. It's asking us to look to our more of like the true nature and to really look beneath the surface of any circumstances, of any situations that are going on. With that said, interestingly pointed out by Jillian, this is a jester, which is like the royal fool back in, you know, medieval times and in the days of, you know, the king or queens holding court. This was the one that was meant to distract everyone from the seriousness of situations, or to keep the royals happy so that, you know, any tyranny could kind of be like, you know, displaced, and no one was paying attention to that. And so the goal of the fool was to keep everybody happy, you know, but it was a distraction from the truth. So it's interesting because it's bringing awareness to us having to look deeper to what is being presented to you, either by yourself, you know, when a situation comes up. For example, what I talked about in the empathy forecast about my own feelings of hopelessness and feeling sad about the possibility of my trip not happening the way that I wanted it to happen. These feelings were actually coming up for me to look deeper into them so that I could see that maybe there was something that's actually I'm actually being asked to surrender the control, to allow myself to be open to receive the path that actually wants to unfold versus the way that I want the path to unfold, which might not be for me anymore, might not be serving me that way. Maybe there are new adventures that need to be experienced, right? So it could be within yourself, and whatever shadowy might be coming up is for you to look beneath that surface, to read between the lines, to not take something at face value, to look deeper. Now, this could also be with people or circumstances that are playing out in your personal life or even in the world, asking you to look beyond the surface. There's some hidden motives, there's some hidden agendas, and maybe people not truly, fully being authentic or honest. With that said, you may need to take their masks off, and you may need to take yours off and say, this is who I am. And this no longer aligns with me. This doesn't resonate anymore. Therefore, I need to change my direction. I need to honor what's coming forward, right? So then you've got the yellow rose that's being held, and roses are incredibly sacred to begin with. The rose itself is really representation of, to kind of keep it short and sweet, the epitome of life itself. It is divine creation. But it is very powerful healing energy at the same time. And we're bringing up the yellow rose. Yellow rose is very much about, connecting into like friendship and forgiveness and, compassion and empathy and, in that. But then you've got, taking on more of like a gold, you've got that divine Christ light or Christed consciousness, which is the rising up beyond the illusion of the physical third dimensional reality and kind of rising up into more of the divine love and oneness for all, and seeing beyond just what the physical here is. So there's a lot of facets to that, which can be incredibly complex. But I almost feel like it's also saying the word that's coming to me really strongly right now is forgiveness. And I feel like it's like, forgiving because they act from places that they don't know, or places that they only know from that state of consciousness, if I should say. But it doesn't mean that you have to align with it anymore. Like the situation being fully forgiven and released and let go, and that in itself is liberation, right? So releasing, but I forgive, but I know my path and I know my truth, and this isn't it. So much love and blessings, but I'm called in this direction, or I'm called into a different way, or I'm called to stand more in my power, because at the same time we've got the fleur de lis here, which is the representation of the Holy Trinity, which you heard me talk about, that divine inner union. And when you come to that place of wholeness, which in order to attain wholeness, we do have to forgive and release and let go, or at least allow ourselves to come into that place of healing. And it's not a must, but it's that something that occurs naturally when you move into that alignment. You're ready to forgive and release, but move forward and move beyond those situations, the vibrations, the cycles, the karmic stuff. You're ready to just kind of be liberated and really start on that new level, a new path for yourself in this new vibration of who you are, which is the divine sovereign being, right? So you've got that illumination here of the fleur de lis of your sovereign crown, your Trinity, your sacred flame, okay? And honoring that. And you've got, in that regard, you've got support coming in, because this is on the, you've got on their right shoulder here. Yeah, like it's mirroring. So, on that right shoulder there, you've got your angel on your shoulder. You've got that support coming in to help you, which kind of plays into what I talked about with the solar eclipse and Venus moving into that sextile with Uranus, and those divine connections that are coming in to assist you. So it's kind of like you're not alone. A lot of people choose to keep certain situations going on or people in their lives because that loneliness, that void, but it's like could be a whole nother conversation here that I'm kind of like seeing here play out, but it makes me feel like if you can truly sit in the stillness with yourself, truly sit in the silence and not have anywhere to go, not have any expectations, and this plays into the energy forecast. If you can truly sit with yourself in silence, in stillness, without anybody else to make you feel whole or happy or complete, or, without any expectation of something to look towards to make you happy, when you can fully come to that space of just happy with yourself, just whole within yourself, that is truly when you're opening up yourself to the next big thing. Okay, if that makes sense at all. So this week we are absolutely being asked to look beneath the surface in all things, in all regards. And I saw a message. Rosemaria says, could it be to temper the bad with the good or unite into wholeness? Temper the bad with the good. I don't know that I'd say it that way, temper the bad with the good. I think I'd say maybe understanding the divine teachings in the bad and seeing the good in what we perceive to be as bad and taking that away from it, taking those lessons away from it. And that in itself does bring you into true wholeness and completion. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Hi, Liz. Hi, Raymond. Thank you for being here. So I just finished up the Moon Day message part of this as well as the energy forecast, but everything is going to be available on the replay after this is done airing live for what you missed, as there's quite a lot going on this week. I keep getting called back to look at the card. The bells, that's what it is. So it's like bells will ring. It's almost like picking up on something, it's almost like you're going to have that moment that it's like an awakening moment or epiphany moment where something just doesn't make sense anymore. Way that you may have felt prior, like even a day before, you suddenly the next day feel or see the situations completely different. And it's like the bells are ringing and it's like you hear the message beyond the physical, because when I think of bells and, when I hear bells, I think of like the other world and, what is beyond what is seen. So it's like you'll hear those bells that are actually, they're like the calling, it's like it's calling you out of, it's almost like when you get hypnotized, right? You get hypnotized and somebody rings a bell and it's like, time to wake up. It's kind of like that, where it's like the bell breaks the spell. And it's like you suddenly see things from that illumined, higher consciousness perspective. And it suddenly has no hold on you the way that it used to. So yes, so this is about looking to the bad and taking the good from it, learning that it was part, taking the lessons from it and what you have learned, and that it actually was a necessary part on your journey for you to learn from, to grow from, and taking all of that with you as you move forward, but that you're no longer there, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Quite a lot of stuff happening this week. And, as I said from the very beginning today, it is all about letting go so that we can be open to divine flow and allowing life to unfold according to the divine's will versus what we think is our will. Because ultimately, our will is the divine's will. It's the physical consciousness that gets in the way, right? All right. Interesting. It's like giving you the prep work to get to moving into alignment with that new path where you're literally stepping onto the new path. All right. Mudra time. So let's see. Do I want to work with the... yes, I do. As soon as I had it open and the first card was Union, which is all we've kind of been talking already about, the divine union. I was going to say, do I want to work with the element one or do I want to work with the other one? I'm working with this one. All right. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with mudras, I'll go into a really brief explanation. Tammy says, daughter is going in to have her baby on the 8th tomorrow. Oh, wow. Congratulations to you and to her. And I almost wanted to say your granddaughter. Do you know if it's a girl or a boy? So I'm sorry because I almost said granddaughter. But yeah, congratulations. What a blessing. Right there on that threshold of new beginnings. Beautiful. All right. So mudras. For those of you who are unfamiliar with them, they kind of like the long and short of it. Interesting. That'd be interesting. Well, congratulations either way. So the long and short of it is basically that mudras are a very powerful tool that we can utilize to literally take our power and our healing into our own hands. By utilizing mudras, it allows us to channel life force energy into our energy centers known as chakras. And those energy centers tie into the four main bodies that we have, which are our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body. By channeling that energy or life force into those chakra centers, it does then channel the energy into those layers, which then breaks down any energetic blockage and allow our energy centers to be flowing and life being breathed into them in a harmonious flow of life force or pranic energy, which is essentially, again, feeding them with that, what they need in order to be harmoniously moving through your entire body, and all those energy layers. So with that said, it allows them to break down any blockage that could actually be creating emotional issues, mental issues, as well as any physical ailments that you might be holding. And then with that said, it can actually move to bring you more into enlightenment and illumination, because it does work through that spiritual body, which is expansion in consciousness. Okay. Sorry, I was getting like tongue twisted there for a second. So how they work is the word mudra itself is actually Sanskrit, and it does translate into seal, like an energy seal or like a wax seal. And the way that I see it in my mind, it's like a button or an activator that when formed, when you form these seals with your hands, it does actually activate said chakra or chakras that that particular mudra connects into. So the mudras work through your palms, because you do have chakras within your palms, as well as within your fingers. You have each finger is connected to the elements, which act then as activators or triggers to, again, activate that seal, that energy, and that movement to, again, move that flow. All right. So I'm doing one now. There are hundreds of different mudras out there. And again, these have been being used for thousands of years, most specifically by the ancient Tibetan monks. And just utilizing these really does allow for you to come into that place of wholeness within yourself and, again, overall well-being and healing. So I like to pull one every week to go along with the oracle message that came forward, because that allows us to facilitate our own growth and work towards what needs to occur within in order for us to experience without, right? So it's really taking that power into our own hands. So what I do is I pull the message or the mudra, and then we work with it together here. And then I like to post a picture of it on my page for you to save to your own phone and work with it all week long, because the more that you work with it, the more effective it's going to be. Okay. All right there. So we're going to see what guidance or mudra comes forward for the collective good for the week of June 7th, 2021. We've got a couple here. Let's see. We got two. The first one is the Panchamukha mudra, which literally means focus. The mudra of focus. And it assists with self-healing, balance, and focus. It supports and balances the right and left sides of the brain. So when you get that crown, right, it's about the silver and the gold rays coming in divine alignment there within your brain, and having the crown placed on your head is the alignment of the left and the right brain, the masculine and the feminine. We talked about on the new moon, the moon and the sun will both be in the same sign. Divine alignment there. And that's funny because the very first card was union on the top of there. So supports, again, the balance of the left and the right sides of the brain. It activates the body's self-healing ability and improves concentration and memory retention. Because it's interesting also, we talked about Gemini ruling over the intellect and the mind. So interesting with helping you maybe like refocus, reorganize the plans of what you want to be creating here going forward. So it's ruled by all elements, connect with it. And before we do this one together, I'm going to show you the other one. And you got master number 11 here. So again, being open to receive there with receptivity, the Pala Mudra. So what was this whole conversation about today? Being open to receive. All right, can't make this stuff up. It assists with tranquility, emotional ease, and calmness, which is so important when making some changes in your life or in your routine or in your thoughts, right? It releases stress and muscular contraction, supports the reproductive, digestive, and eliminatory systems, reduces blood pressure, and cultivates a sense of calm and wholeness. There's that word again. Its element is earth. All right, so we will do the first one and then we'll move into the second one, okay? Both are fairly easy. So all you're doing is you're joining the tips of all the fingers together for this one. And this one, actually, lots of people naturally form when they're talking in front of other people, because without even realizing that they're doing it, it actually naturally allows you to focus your thoughts for communication. But it also allows others, it draws others into you to focus on what you're saying, right? So interesting. So join the tips of all 10 fingers together, hollow the palms, and allow there to be space between the fingers as if you were holding a globe. So I'm going to just hold this right in front of my heart chakra. I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath in and close your eyes if you like. Breathe in through your nose. And release. Again, deep breath in through your nose. And release. One more time, deep breath in. And release. And you can state, I align with nature and receive balanced, focused on all levels. I align with nature and receive balanced focus on all levels. I align with nature and receive balanced focus on all levels. Okay. Interesting, that one with the right and the left sides of the brain. I immediately saw a Merkaba, or six-pointed star, known as a star tetrahedron, which is the energy of our light bodies, and it is the feminine and the masculine energy coming together in divine union. So that's really wonderful. All right, moving into the receptivity mudra, or the Pala mudra. So what you're going to do is take your left hand facing upwards, right hand facing downward, just above the left hand, and have your hands gently touch the body. So I would say straighten your spine, and you're going to have this right under your like diaphragm area, up like in a stomach, high stomach, upper stomach area there, also known as the area of our Hrit Padma, or spiritual heart. Just close your eyes, lengthen your spine, and take a nice deep breath in. And release. Again, deep breath in. Release. Last one, deep breath in. And release. And you can state, I open to receive calmness throughout my body and mind. I open to receive calmness throughout my body and mind. I open to receive calmness throughout my body and mind. And so it is. All right, everyone. I do hope that you make the best of this incredibly amazing, profound energy that we have this week. And your solar eclipse and new moon is quite blessed. Definitely time to get those manifesting wheels moving and really focus in on what you want. But before we get there, you've got these couple of days where you can really look beneath the surface of what's going on and really asking yourself what serves and what doesn't, and where you want to be going from here and how do you get there. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in with me this magical moon day. So much love and blessings to all, and I hope to see you next week.